Gentlemen and children of all ages, the play is the thing. With your host, Judy Sleed. Special guests, Karen Mannix and Karen Sacco of the Southport Breast Health Coalition.
Love me in London.
Robert Fraza for Ashokan Talent. Now here's Judy.
Hi, thank you, Lee. It was so beautiful the way you say Judy. I have two Karens visiting me today, Karen and Karen. Oh no, Karen and, well, anyway. Please say hello and introduce yourself. First, you, Karen.
Karen Sacco.
Yes, and Karen.
I'm Karen Mannix.
Yes, so it won't be too difficult to talk to these young ladies because if I just say Karen, they'll just answer me. So you belong to this organization called?
The South Fork Breast Health Coalition, which is located in Southampton.
Yes.
And it was actually started by Susie Barry Roden back in 1994. She was a breast cancer patient, and she felt that there was a need for other breast cancer patients to walk the journey not alone, so to speak. And so, so what we do is we raise funds for the coalition so that we can provide patients with transportation. We can give them money for bills if they need it. We can, I teach a program for teens in high schools about breast cancer awareness. And I can go on and on and on.
So this is a very caring organization. You do very kind things for people. And it seems that there is a need for this. There's a lot of people inflicted with this illness. We call it illness. So can I ask the other Karen? Karen, is there ever a problem when people want to talk to you, little Karen, big Karen, or?
No, we seem to know when the one person's going to speak.
I didn't mean right now, just in general, because, my name is Judy, and all my friends were Judy. It seemed like that. And I was always the little Judy, although the big Judy was just a half-inch taller, but still, she was a little older. But anyway, so when you're together...
Never been a problem.
No, how come?
No.
I guess people just look at you and then look at you and then they say Karen. So, well, okay. I just about forgot what I was going to ask you. So there is a need. So would you say that in the past 10 years there was a increase with this illness, or it was just being aware that it's there?
Well, now it's early detection, which is maybe more, the testing maybe is a bit, not aggressive, it's not the proper word, but there's a lot more earlier detection. I'm a breast cancer survivor, and so is Karen. So I'm 3 years this month, and you're probably 2 years this month, right? And I just can't believe how many people I know that are afflicted with breast cancer have been, and thank goodness we're all survivors and keep on going. And what the coalition does, besides your typical, make sure your routine mammogram, your early detection routes that you can take, they help people actually going through the illness, what people forget about. The people that can't get to radiation and or chemotherapy, babysitters. You're sometimes too sick, you can't clean your house. There's these little things that I think people who have never been aware of what breast cancer is, or not what it is, but have never witnessed someone going through it, the little things that come along in your life that become obstacles. And that's what the coalition basically helps, is people going through it and their families with little parts of assistance. And when I went through it, I didn't think I'd need any help. I thought I'd be fine, which is not the case. I was very early detection. I just had radiation and lumpectomies. And after I was finished all my treatment, I decided to start the Birdhouse auction to help them raise money, to help them help people more. And the first year, as the day we were actually setting it up, Karen came in. And she had just started her treatment, if you don't mind me saying.
Thanks.
And too late now.
That's right.
And she just sort of jumped on board and got right in there, even though she wasn't feeling well at that particular time. And we pulled it together. Now, this is our third year, and it's gotten very, very big. We've raised a lot of money and in the past, and it's going to get better every year. More people want to be involved doing it. There's a waiting list for people to get in and do the birdhouses. Lots of big celebrities and lots of good stuff.
These birdhouses are really very, very interesting. I have to admit, I made a birdhouse when I was quite younger. I ran a 4-H club and we did a birdhouse. But I would like you to let everybody see these houses, birdhouses. Did you make any of these?
The gourd is mine. It's called the Love Shack. And that's where the birds go in. It's made of a real gourd. It's my second year using a gourd instead of a basic blank. What we do is we provide these for artists, and each one's different. These are the simple ones that we can carry here. Some of these things are very, very big. I'm talking
How
very
did you empty that by yourself?
Yeah,
or?
you just let them dry. I pop a hole in it, and all the seeds come out. And they're sturdy, and this will last up to nature if you really wanted to put it outside.
So you would put the seeds in the hole?
These are houses. These aren't bird feeders. These are bird houses. They live inside. They'll go in, and even if you lay it down, they'll build their nest up in this area, and they're nice and safe.
Oh, that's really for small birds.
Mm-hmm. Most of these, believe it or not, are for titmouses.
And some of them don't actually function as a outdoor birdhouse. Some of them are, a piece of art, and but the idea is that the artist creates what his or her vision is, as far as what a birdhouse, what a birdhouse is.
Really great. Can you hold up another one?
Sure. This one is by Jim Mannix, who happens to be my brother. And this is called Under the Sea. He's an artist. Actually, he's a film director. But he made this one, which has a little evil twist to it, which I love. It looks...
Evil twist.
I think it's very demonic looking myself, but I love it. I think it's great. The poor little birds might get hurt, but I wouldn't put it outside personally.
No.
This one is
Well,
by...
what is evil about it?
I just think it looks... I don't know.
With all these
The
little
points.
points. The little
I mean,
points.
in a good way.
Yeah.
In a good way.
A playful
A
way.
good
Exactly.
evil.
Yeah.
It's not your pretty little seashell birdhouse, in other words. This one is by artist David Sally, and we can all tell what it sort of looks like the birds had a field day on it.
Yeah, that reminds me of Lincoln.
Oh, at the log cabin.
Yes.
Yes, and I don't think, any of these I wouldn't put outside personally. This one is,
Yeah.
David Sally's a big artist. This is Kimberly Monsoon. She actually sculpted all of these little pieces out of clay. I thought she just bought figurines, and I couldn't understand how she got the right height, but then I found out she actually sculpted every little person on here.
Oh, that is amazing.
And it's called House of Athena. And over in that corner is her husband's Michael Vieira, and this is called the Nude House. I don't know if we can show this on public TV, but has all his little nude sketches on it.
See, yes, the nude ladies.
So only nude birds can use it.
Only
Only the nude ones.
In other words,
those
they
brave
can't
ones.
get dressed when they.
No, they have to leave their
disrobe.
clothes outside,
Yes.
not just their
that's-
shoes.
Oh, that's a lot of fun. Wow.
We have, I think, a total of 88 birdhouses this year.
And when are you going to sell them?
The
Or auction it off?
The
Is that what you're
preview
going to do?
is coming up very soon, and that's October 6th. And the preview is going to be at the Hampton Road Gallery in Southampton. And it starts at, and I always want to double check the times because...
6 to 8.
Okay. Correct. 6 to 8. And during that time, The houses can be bidded on. We have how many? About 75. What?
Well, we have I think that's up to 88 birdhouses, and 20 go up for live auction, which we don't pick out till it comes closer to when we have them all in front of us. And silent auction, the rest will be silent auction. You could start bidding those at the Hampton Road Gallery.
Right.
So is that the poster?
This is our
you will
poster, and I'll let Karen say something about the poster. This was the first year that we decided to have posters made about the birdhouse auction. And this poster was actually done by Dan Rizzi, who also did this birdhouse.
No, this is David Sally.
Oh my God.
Dan's matches that.
You see, I
This
got myself in
birdhouse-
trouble already.
Can you hold it up so we could put the camera on it? Okay, so those are birds in that picture.
Dan Rizzi's known for painting birds. This actual painting is belongs in Kelsey Grammer's collection. And
How did that happen?
well, the owner of Hampton Road Gallery, Peter Marcel, is an art dealer, and one of his clients is Dan Rizzi, who's also a good friend of mine. And Peter had asked me if I wanted to approach Dan about doing this poster, and I did. And when we picked out the design for it, at that point, Kelsey Grammer was in the middle of purchasing the painting. So we were lucky enough, with the okay of Peter Marcel and Kelsey Grammer, to use that image for the poster. And all the unsigned ones are sold out already. We only have signed ones left, and they're in limited edition of 50. That's all we have. Dan Rizzi's birdhouse, he painted it to match the poster.
That's it. Yeah.
It is really great, a great thing
Yeah.
what you're doing. You started all this and you have a lot of people helping. So let's start with this, Karen. Where are you from?
I'm originally from New York City,
Manhattan?
Manhattan.
Wow, and well, that's not too far from here.
No,
And you just came out here?
I actually came out here by mistake. I was moving from Manhattan in 2005, and the movers came, and my next day I was to go and have my mammogram and ultrasound, and I found out I had breast cancer. So I had no place to go, and my uncle lives in Watermill, New York, and I ended up moving in with him and receiving treatment in the city. So I commuted back and forth for my chemo and treatment, and he had a house guest for close to 2 years, Mm-hmm. So after my treatment, or even during my treatment, like Karen said, the coalition really helped me a lot. I was away from my friends. I was in a place where I didn't have any support or know anybody, and it was through the coalition, through their support groups, through Susie's help. And the birdhouse, which was a wonderful gift that Karen gave my uncle and I, was that, I don't know, I must have seen something about, no, he saw it in the Artists Alliance, East Hampton Artists Alliance, because he's a sculptor. And he said, birdhouse auction. And he said, I would like to build a birdhouse. And so I said, well, okay. He said, well, you think it's too late? It was only like 3 weeks before the actual auction. He called up Susie. Susie said, go for it. And we created what was called the Hampton Beach Treehouse. And it was a pink house on stilts. And I was the landscape architect that did all the little beach shells. And it was wonderful for me because I was feeling so sick, and there were days that I could not go and find little beach stones. And he would say, now the landscape architect is falling behind. We have to get this house done. So it was a gift for both of us, and he has contributed every year to the birdhouse auction, and so for us, the birdhouse auction is a personal thing for me, and it's a gift that Karen has given me without her knowing it, and my uncle as well, and the coalition, and to all the people that are benefiting from the funds.
So did you have like any sort of training before you did this when you went to school? Did you say to yourself, well, I'm good at building birdhouses. I'm going to live my life building birdhouses.
Well, I don't build the birdhouses. My uncle's a sculptor. He's the one that does the birdhouse.
So what did you?
All I did was put pebbles on the bottom.
Yeah, but did you have any training? Did you go to school for any sort of arts or?
Well, I have a degree in art therapy, but it doesn't mean I'm an artist.
So did you ever work with arts?
Just in as art therapy, and a summer at Rhode Island School of Design that I flunked out of. No, this whole process was just a moment of creating, and I created the beach scene. Yeah.
Well, I always like to hear how people get to where they are now.
Yeah.
And you, Karen, are you a native?
I graduated from high school here, but I'm not originally from here. I'm also from the city. Back and forth my whole life, but I've been out here now 18 years. So, and I am an artist.
You studied to be an artist?
Amongst a million other things. Fashion designer, curator, art historian, fell into the arts and for some reason can't get myself out of it. Always doing.
But you must be enjoying it.
I love it.
Yeah, that's the main thing. Because someone just asked me about what they're supposed to do on this show, and I said, well, do what you like. And they said, oh, I'm so excited. So that's good. It's going to come out. It's going to make a good showing.
Yeah.
So you've been doing this for...
This is the Birdhouse auction? This is our
No, I
third
mean,
year.
actually, your artwork. What do you do?
Oh, my whole life. My whole life.
Oh.
I've been showing for 10 or 12 years. Now, before that, I was in fashion for a long time, fashion design. Doing clothes for like Cyndi Lauper and Michael Mann, film director, a lot of other stuff. And I just started, when I moved out here, I was still in fashion, but I slowly started switching over and just started showing my work at galleries, and I show across the country now.
Paintings?
Mixed media, not always painting, a lot of different things, as long as my hands are busy.
Hands are busy. Well, you could be knitting, your hands are busy.
It's an art form.
And what else? Do you feel that this is going to grow by advertising or word of mouth, or because you said it's getting bigger every year?
Both. Word of mouth, I would say more. I mean, this year we have people like Aretha Franklin, she even did a birdhouse for us this year. Peggy Fleming, the ice skater. A lot of celebrities, breast cancer survivors, artists, a lot of people.
I think the first year what happened was Renee Zellweger came in while Karen was setting up. Of course, I missed her, so Karen can speak to that. But she has been behind us and supporting us, and has allowed us to use her name in our advertisement. And she has also put the word out as far as getting other celebrities. So that has been very, very helpful to us.
It seems like when you put a name that everybody knows to it,
Right.
that it gets more attention.
Exactly. So
Yeah, well, it's sometimes, you mean you just get those people accidentally that they have
She
to be
walked
there?
in when we were setting up, and she wanted to buy, the first year there was a birdhouse called the Guggenhaus by an artist named Michael Lowney, who lives in San Francisco, and it was the Guggenheim, made into a birdhouse not much bigger than these. And she saw it in the newspaper and she wanted to come in and buy it. And when she came back for the auction that night, she bought all the birdhouses that weren't selling. So she walked away with a lot of birdhouses. She gave them all as friends. Well, she upped all the prices on all of them. And she wound up walking away with like 10 to 15 birdhouses. And she gave them away for presents to friends. She just wanted that Guggenhaus really bad. And then every year she comes back and she buys more. And she now makes one for the birdhouse auction as well.
You know, I have an incentive to make one. Susan said if I make one, she'd make an exception. And and put it in
We'll
the
put
auction.
you on our list for
But
next year. We have a waiting list.
But I didn't even get started on this. I thought I'd go to the store and get those little sticks that they make.
There you go. You can start now for next year.
Well, that's a good idea, that, for next year, it will take me that long or longer to make a birdhouse. But it's amazing. I mean, I come across with so many talented people and what they do with their art and how people put it out there and it gets recognized. I'm finding that very, very interesting and rewarding.
Sure.
Because there are a lot of people who do things and no one knows about it.
Well, this is I guess I keep falling back to the coalition, but this is what the focus is to make it fun and a way of raising money and getting other people involved, like celebrities that may not necessarily be artists, but they're having fun creating and painting and putting their name on it. And we know that that this particular birdhouse with so-and-so's name on it is going to be an art, a collectible for somebody else. Like we have the New York Knicks. And last year we had, what was it? It was the New York Knicks.
Yeah, we have a lot of sports teams.
And people,
New York Jets we got this year.
And with the signatures on it, people want that. People want that. So we're trying to gear it so that everybody, to a larger audience that may be interested in coming to the auction, other than just artists or celebrities, but we want everybody to be able to participate and see something that they may want, which is kind of fun. Yeah.
I was going to ask you before that, do you feel that there is more and more of this illness happening here in Long Island than any other place?
Statistically,
They're saying,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah, I heard some sort of rumor like that.
They did a study, and I don't know that much about it, but they did do a study, and actually Susie was involved with that, looking at the women on Long Island. But supposedly, I think the outcome came that the numbers didn't actually show that there actually were in comparison to the size. But I just know personally that more and more of my friends have gone through breast cancer and are survivors. In fact, I have women that we get together every year and reunion with girlfriends, and we were saying 4 out of the 5 of us are survivors. That's huge.
It is huge.
That is huge. And they live, California, Florida, Texas, New Mexico. So it's not just this area, but that is very significant.
Well, perhaps it is known here because there's more attention to it, and the other places maybe they're just very quiet about it, so we don't know.
I don't know. My friend was diagnosed with breast cancer 3 weeks before me. So, it's a lot of people. You'd be surprised when you start talking to women, and men for that matter, who have breast cancer.
Exactly.
Have had breast
Did you
cancer.
ever find out the research at what's maybe causing this?
I don't think they know a cause. I mean, as Karen said, what we're focusing on as
Is
far
helping.
as is helping in early education. So some of our funding that we got from foundations was for the Think Pink program, which is early education to the teenagers. Because we do have one young woman, 16, that was diagnosed with breast cancer. And she goes around with me to the schools, and it's quite an impact for those students to see her standing there saying, I found the lump. And so it's really important for early education and also detection with the new machines, the digital machines that Southampton Breast Center has.
How new is it?
A year old? Just about a year old.
Digital imaging.
Digital.
I was diagnosed from my mammogram. There was no lump.
Yeah.
or the lump wasn't big enough to be felt. It was just for my annual exam.
Yeah.
And they forgot about me in the waiting room, and I was going to get up and leave. But I didn't, thank goodness.
Yeah, it is. So,
So-
this new procedure, it's better than the older one.
Well, it's not a new procedure, it's a new machine.
A new machine.
And it records digitally, so it's more precise, more accurate. And the other thing is that while you're actually being tested, the radiologist can actually see the image at that time. So if they suspect something, instead of saying, could you come back next week, we need you to, how many times that's happened, they can have you, do it right at that moment so that you don't have to come back. Because I think that's the hardest thing, is that period of unknown, not knowing what the results are.
It is, and I think in this 21st century, we are really fortunate to be here, because they have so many ways of detecting illnesses, while in the past you couldn't. Well, we're getting to a close. It always goes so fast. I want to thank you for coming and talking about this, and a lot of people who will watch will learn something.
Right.
And these birdhouses are really very interesting and good, and I hope you're going to sell a lot.
I hope so too.
I would like to thank the crew. Adrian did the camera for us, and of course Lee, my director, and all my underwriters. And goodbye, everybody. Would you could say goodbye to my audience like this? Goodbye. That's my trademark. That's my trademark.
Is that your trade?
Yes, like bye. Yeah, it is. Really, it is. I learn an awful lot, and it is wonderful. Like I said, this technology, because most of us wouldn't be here if it wasn't for that.
Right.
Love me,
Including myself, I don't have
love me
breast cancer,
around
but
the
I have another
world.
illness. I take medication, and I was telling